We are 3 weeks into 2020. Can you believe it?
Ellen DeGeneres is pulling the plug on her insanely successful daytime TV variety, comedy, talk show at the end of this season. For more than 18 years, she has famously danced with her guests and the audience, played games and pranks with them, and given away prizes. She has interviewed everyone from Hollywood A-listers to precious children. But now, she and Warner Brothers Television have said the Ellen DeGeneres show will end in 2022. So, how did this come about? And what's the future for Ellen's illustrious career? Let's find out. The stand-up comedian began her talk show in 2003, 5 years after coming out on her sitcom Ellen, and announcing on the cover of Time magazine, "Yep, I'm gay." For that, President Barack Obama bestowed on her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She's won the Kennedy Center's Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, and her television show has earned Daytime Emmy Awards. But all good things come to an end. And Ellen's show seems to have had its run, too. Ellen had been facing rating declines in recent years. She has also taken hits to her reputation for preaching "be kind" to her audience after allegations surfaced last year about inappropriate behavior on the set of her show. Variety reported that some crew members were furious with the show and the host over last spring amid the COVID-19 lockdown panic and the uncertainty about whether they would be paid while the show was produced remotely from DeGeneres' home. When you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged, DeGeneres told The Hollywood Reporter in an exclusive interview. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. Although all good things must come to an end, you still have hope that the truly great things never will, said Mike Darnell, the president of Warner Brothers Unscripted Television, in a statement. He said, DeGeneres' show started as this little program that could and became an absolute phenomenon. Over the years, it established itself as the premier destination for both superstars and incredible heartfelt human interest stories. The show and Ellen brought comedy, joy, happiness, comfort, and dancing to countless millions every day for 18 years, and it will be surely missed.
Obama, when they go low, we get high. This next decade is going to be so much fun.
Last year, former and current staffers who remained anonymous claimed that Ellen's show was a toxic workplace. They told BuzzFeed they experienced racist comments, fear and intimidation on set, and some alleged they were sexually harassed by the show's producers. Numerous stories and proofs regarding Ellen mistreating her staff cropped up online, which is one of the main reasons why 2020 was the year of backlash against the once beloved comedian. Tom Majarczyk, who was previously a part of Apple and Google's security team, was hired to protect DeGeneres, her mother, and her wife, Portia de Rossi, as they attended the 86 Academy Awards, which Ellen was hosting. Majarczyk later shared how his experience with the celebrity of the 2014 Oscars was quite demeaning and less than ideal, as Ellen refused to even look him in the eye, let alone greet him politely. Furthermore, when comedian Kevin T. Porter crowdsourced insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean in exchange for $2 donations to the LA Regional Food Bank, Twitter flooded with thousands of responses. Consequently, in April of this year, the Twitter thread was widely shared, garnering countless replies of people describing uncomfortable or off-putting experiences with Ellen. Crew members for The Ellen Show also came forward and spoke about how they had not received any communication from DeGeneres or the show executives regarding their pay or working hours during the COVID-19 pandemic. Ellen also faced severe backlash on social media after making a so-called joke during one of her home quarantine episodes. It was during her April 6th show when the world-famous TV host compared self-isolating in her multi-million-dollar California mansion to being in prison, which was not only an absurd way of complaining, but also an insensitive remark. What was even more disappointing to fans was that DeGeneres seemed amused by her comparison, smiling and saying, The jokes that I have. After the clip was shared on Twitter, users were quick to point out that prison inmates are actually at a much greater risk of contracting and hence dying from the novel coronavirus as compared to extremely privileged people such as DeGeneres. Based on innumerable comments and retweets, it's safe to say that Ellen's attempt at making humor out of a serious issue wasn't well received by a massive majority of people on the internet.
Should we move on with the show?
I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay.
Another controversy that landed Ellen in trouble was her interview with Kevin Hart in 2019. The stand-up comedian, actor, and producer Kevin Hart was chosen to host the 91st Academy Awards, but was later asked to step down from the position unless he publicly apologized for his homophobic tweets from the past. He showed no remorse over his words from years ago and instead stepped down from the position. During the same year, Ellen invited Kevin on her show, and shockingly enough for her fans, she showed her support for him alongside defending him on national television. Instead of calling him out on his problematic tweets, DeGeneres encouraged Kevin, which portrayed nothing but hypocrisy since Ellen holds immense pride in being an LGBT activist. Hence, it comes as no surprise that this act of hers greatly angered many of her fans.
The Oscars. I think that I was so excited when I heard that they asked you. I thought it was an amazing thing. I knew how important it was and how...
But that's not all. Ellen also has a history of being condescending to her guests. Since her show first aired in 2003, DeGeneres has passed impolite remarks while interviewing celebrities numerous times, which has led to a number of awkward moments in the show's history. For instance, when Canadian singer Celine Dion was invited on The Ellen Show and talked about how people judge her son's hair, she got seriously pissed when Ellen herself commented on the same topic. Consequently, Dion frankly told DeGeneres that her parenting choices aren't made to please everybody, which made sense since the show host had no right to comment on Dion's son's hair.
You could just trim, just trim a little bit, you know? And no.
On another occasion, DeGeneres repeatedly kept asking Taylor Swift questions about her dating life, although the singer made it clear that she wasn't comfortable talking about it. Ellen did the same thing with Justin Bieber, while forcing him to reveal the identity of the unrecognized woman who was spotted with him in Bora Bora. At last, Justin had to say the word "stop" while covering his face with his hands, making it evident that Ellen failed to respect Justin's privacy. Moreover, when Dakota Johnson appeared on her show, DeGeneres kept on insisting that Dakota didn't invite the comedian to her 30th birthday. Eventually, Johnson clapped back at Ellen, saying that the host herself hadn't replied to the invitation. When the anonymous allegations came out by Ellen's staff in 2020, Ellen apologized. In a memo, she wrote that she intended for her show to be a place where no one would ever raise their voice and everyone would be treated with respect. She opened her 18th season in September with an apology to her audience. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, she said. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show. DeGeneres said the show was starting a new chapter. My intention is to always be the best person I can, and if I've ever let someone down, if I've ever hurt their feelings, I am so sorry for that. If that's the case, I have let myself down, and I've hurt myself as well because I always try to grow as a person. I look at everything that comes into my life as an opportunity to learn. I got into this business to make people laugh and feel good. That's my favorite thing to do. And Jenga. As DeGeneres has said herself, it was long expected that she was going to wrap up her run sooner rather than later. There was speculation that she would hold on for a 20-season legacy, but the events of the past year likely hastened her decision. DeGeneres is one of the most highly paid personalities on television, with a big ownership stake in the show that is said to be worth as much as $50 million a year to the host. As DeGeneres hinted, it is believed that she'll star in another comedy special for Netflix. In 2018, she fronted Ellen DeGeneres' Relatable for The Streamer, which marked her first stand-up special in 15 years and brought her a $20 million paycheck. Based at Warner Brothers, Ellen's A Very Good production banner has also become a prolific producer of unscripted series, including NBC's Ellen's Game of Games, which she has hosted since 2017. Warner Brothers says DeGeneres will still continue on Fox's The Masked Dancer, NBC's Ellen's Game of Games, and HBO Max's Ellen's Next Great Designer. Her Ellen digital ventures includes more than 60 original series, including Momsplaining with Kristen Bell. She is also producing documentaries and specials for Discovery, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, she's hoping for more acting roles and time for her conservation efforts. We wish you all the best for the future, Ellen.